Imagine being dropped into the middle of nowhere. Now ask yourself this: would you rather be stranded on land or cast into the deep, open ocean? Most of us would instinctively choose land, and for good reason. Because beneath the surface of prehistoric oceans, something far more terrifying than any land predator was waiting. A realm where nightmares weren't just made, they evolved. Welcome to Hell's Aquarium. It may sound like science fiction, but the Western Interior Seaway was very real. During the late Cretaceous, this vast inland sea split North America in half, stretching from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to the Arctic Ocean. For over 30 million years, it transformed the heart of the continent into a warm, shallow tropical sea, teeming with creatures so dangerous they make today's great white sharks look like goldfish. If you've ever stood in Kansas, Nebraska, or the Dakotas, chances are you've walked on the ancient floor of this lost ocean. At its peak during the Campanian Age, about 80 million years ago, the Western Interior Seaway was nearly 1,000 kilometers wide and over 3,000 kilometers long. And although it was relatively shallow, with an average depth of just 50 meters, what lurked beneath its surface was anything but shallow in terror. Dominating these waters were the Mosasaurs, giant marine reptiles descended from land-dwelling lizards. Imagine a Komodo dragon stretched to the size of a school bus, armored with powerful flippers and propelled through the sea with a shark-like tail. That's a mosasaur, sleek, muscular, and engineered by evolution to kill with terrifying efficiency. Among the most fearsome was Tylosaurus, a monster stretching over 50 feet long, roughly the size of a humpback whale. This wasn't just any marine predator. Tylosaurus had a unique weapon, a reinforced snout, a battering ram of bone that it used to stun, maim, or outright kill its prey in high-speed ambushes. Fossilized remains have even shown signs of fatal cranial damage, possibly inflicted by another Tylosaurus. Its diet? Practically anything that moved. Sharks, birds, turtles, plesiosaurs, and even other mosasaurs. One fossil find even contained the remains of a bird and another marine reptile inside a Tylosaurus's stomach, confirming it was a brutal, opportunistic hunter with no equal in its environment. But it wasn't alone. Mosasaurs like Mosasaurus, Hoffmanni, the largest of them all, could reach up to 56 feet and weigh more than 10 tons. Unlike Tylosaurus, Mosasaurus didn't have a ramming snout. Instead, it relied on a more traditional but no less terrifying method: sheer bite force. Its jaws were lined with massive, blade-like teeth, equipped with cutting edges and microscopic ridges, designed to saw through flesh and crush bone. Estimates put its bite at up to 16,000 pounds per square inch, 4 times stronger than a saltwater crocodile. Now imagine that in a sea only 150 feet deep. There would be nowhere to hide. Then there's Cledastes, a smaller but agile mosasaur, around 20 feet in length. While not a threat to adult humans, it was fast, maneuverable, and capable of entering freshwater environments, meaning even rivers might not be safe. And then came Platecarpus, growing up to 24 feet long, specializing in hunting soft-bodied prey like squid. Its fragile teeth suggest a preference for smaller, delicate meals, but its size alone made it an imposing presence. And if that weren't enough, there was another predator lurking at the shores of the seaway, one that could walk on land and patrol the coastlines. Dinosaurus, the terrible crocodile. With skulls over 6 feet long and bodies stretching up to 39 feet, Dinosaurus was one of the largest crocodiliforms ever. Unlike modern crocs, this beast was bulkier and armored, with massive bony plates. It's estimated to have weighed over 8 tons and delivered a bite force possibly stronger than even Tyrannosaurus rex. Fossils have shown that Dinosaurus lived on both sides of the seaway, possibly moving between coastal shallows and deeper bays. And it wasn't a passive scavenger. Evidence suggests it actively hunted large prey, including marine reptiles. This apex ambush predator was the nightmare lurking in the reeds, ready to explode from the shallows in a crushing, bone-snapping attack. Altogether, the Western Interior Seaway wasn't just deadly, it was unrelenting. A dynamic battlefield of evolutionary arms races, where prey had to outswim predators that were faster, smarter, and more brutally adapted than anything on land. And while dinosaurs may have ruled the continents, they would have stood no chance had they slipped beneath the surface of this watery hellscape. That's why paleontologists and documentary filmmakers alike refer to it as Hell's Aquarium. Because every corner of it, every shallow reef, every dark trench, was haunted by apex predators the size of buses, wielding weapons designed to tear, crush, and devour. And the most chilling part? Most of these animals aren't the stuff of fantasy. They're real. We've found their fossils. We've studied their bones. We've uncovered the scars they left behind, on prey, on each other, and on the very rocks beneath our feet. So the next time you find yourself staring out across a calm sea, remember this: not all oceans are peaceful. Some once roared with teeth, thundered with tails, and shimmered with the shadows of monsters. If you enjoyed this dive into Earth's deadliest sea, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Extinct World. Let's continue this incredible journey together, one fossil at a time, because the past is far from dead. It's just waiting to be discovered.